Welcome to Everyday Life. Thank you for joining our podcast, Conversations Over Coffee. My name is Jen.
And I'm Dagda.
And we're going to hit you with the explicit content warning right off the bat. This podcast does include adult situations and adult language from time to time.
I'm an angel. I never fucking cuss.
Okay. Anyways, you ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go. $19, $11, $12. See, I'll give you Korean hearts. K-pop hearts.
No.
Don't you deny my K-pop hearts.
I got your K-pop hearts right here.
If I had some pointing snail. What? You don't know how to do it. This is a bird. These are hearts. Bird hearts.
And this is a violin.
Playing my saddest song ever, you dick. Well, I'd say, how are you today? But I can already guess you're feisty.
I mean, I am always spicy.
Feisty, not spicy.
That too.
I don't know why everybody thinks ginger is so hot, because it's not. It's bland. It's flavorless.
Ginger is also spicy.
No, not to me.
You've not had enough of it in your mouth.
Trust me, I've had plenty of ginger in my mouth.
What about Marianne?
You're rotten. Rotten. Okay, so actually, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing perfectly fine. We did have some sad news recently.
Yep.
And it's so weird. But everybody in the world already knows that Chuck Norris passed away at 86 years old, 9 days after his 86th birthday.
I am Chuck fucking Norris. I spread more blood and gore than 40 score of your puny civil wars, bitch. Anyway.
And what about on the dick?
No. I have a black belt that I wear on the beard on my dick.
That's right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Chuck Norris was a funny guy. He had a very set, rules and regulations he created for himself. He created for his own karate system. So what I thought was, instead of being sad and forlorn about it, because 86 is nothing to sniff at. It's not 102 or 103, I should say. It's not 103 like his mother lived to be.
Oh, damn.
His mother just died in 2024 at 103 years old. So, but 86 is nothing to sniff at. I'll tell you the same thing I told somebody the other day. They said to me, "How are you doing today, ma'am?" And I said, "I'm doing all right. How are you doing?" "Well, it's been kind of a crappy day, and I'm over it. I'm ready for this day to be over, and it's not a good day. I don't know how you can be positive." And I said, "Because I woke up on this side of the dirt."
Yep.
And their response was like, "Wait, what?" And I said, "So many people have never made it past 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 30, 35. I said, there is somebody who's never going to be living as old as you are." And he was like, "Oh, that's a weird way to look at it." And I said, "Really?" Because I think it's the right way to look at it. Good days, bad days, blessed days, sad days. They all happen.
Yeah.
But if you look at it and go, okay, I'm on this side of the dirt. So it's an opportunity for a good day and great things to happen and to see people you love and care about. Again, one more time, right? But bad days, they're going to come with it. And it's like, but that's okay, because if I get to wake up on the other side of the dirt tomorrow, okay, I'll have lived my purpose.
Yeah.
But if I wake up on this side of the dirt tomorrow, then it's an opportunity for it to be a better day. A day to have, I don't know, maybe I'll start drinking soda again. No. Maybe I'll buy myself a Twix bar. Something that reminds me that I'm happy to be alive.
Yeah.
So anyways, so I figured with that in mind, because Chuck Norris liked to poke fun at himself quite a bit, I thought we'd do some basics about him. And then I have a special way we're going to end it. How does that sound?
Okay.
Because who doesn't love some Chuck Norris?
Yeah.
I mean, they're kids today are going to be scratching their head like millennials and what are the other ones?
Zoomers.
They're all going to be scratching their head going, "Is that guy from Texas my grandparents used to watch?" Yes, it is. But before he was Walker Texas Ranger, he was something else.
Bless my sons, Walker and Texas Ranger.
That's right. And the Colonel for this delicious, delicious dinner. All right, so you ready to go?
Yep.
Here we go. So Chuck Norris was actually born Carlos Ray Norris, and he was born May 10th of 1940. He did not get known as Chuck Norris until he was in the Air Force in 1958. That's where he gained the nickname Chuck.
Okay.
He was named after his father's minister. His father was a World War II veteran, and his father's minister's name was Carlos Berry. So this total white guy was named.
I was wondering why he had a Hispanic first name.
Yes, and that's why, because his father so loved his minister. And it didn't say, when I did the research, it didn't say if this was the minister he had during World War II or if it's the minister that consoled him, because his dad was had a lot of problems after coming back from the war, and his parents obviously got divorced, and his dad actually died fairly young. His where was it? I have it in here somewhere. Right here. Sorry. Right on there. His mother's name was Wilma Lee, and she lived from 1921 to 2024. She was 103 years old when she passed. So 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, his mom died.
Damn.
His dad was only 53 years old, and he died in an accident. But he wasn't doing so great anyways. But here's the crazy thing. His mother's name was Wilma Lee, right?
Okay.
His dad's name was Ray D.
Okay.
Ray D. Norris. It's just weird that you have the mom's middle name is Lee and the dad's is D. Lee, D, L, and D. Anyways, it just struck me how odd it was. They had such a similar middle name. So he had died in 1971, and I believe that was from automobile accident. So Chuck Norris had two brothers. One brother he has, his name is Aaron. He is actually living. He actually did a lot of the stunts for the Chuck Norris movies in the 80s and 90s. He's been a stunt coordinator. He's been in some movies as a stunt coordinator and as a stunt man. And also he runs he was a teacher of the Chuck Norris system for martial arts.
Okay, like his own offshoot of karate.
Well, so yeah, I'll explain that about Chuck Norris in a second. But he had another brother, and he had a brother. So his brother Aaron is still living, who's currently still living.
Okay.
So Chuck Norris also had another brother, and his name was Wieland. And he told Chuck when he was a teenager, he said, I'm never going to make it to see 30 years old. I'm never going to make it to see 30 years old. And unfortunately, his brother went and served in Vietnam and did not make it to be 30 years old. He died shortly before his 30th birthday. So, it was interesting, but it's one of those weird family things, just like his brother predicted his own death.
Yeah.
So it was really crazy.
I mean, there's a fair number of people who are like, I never expected to see 30. I've met a fair number of people that said that. Yeah. And a lot of them are like the ones that are like in their 40s plus are in really bad shape because, well, they expected to die early, so they were living hard.
Yeah. I know people who are in their 50s now, and they're just like, if I would have known I was going to live past 30 years old, I would have taken better care of myself. But now I'm too old to take better care of myself. And I always think that's a funny thing to say, because my response when somebody said that to me was, well, I don't worry about being the slimmest or prettiest woman on the planet, but what I do worry about is having good mobility, because I'd like to be able to wipe my own ass all the way up to the end.
Yeah.
And that, unfortunately happens, where if you're not stretching routinely and doing physical motions routinely. And it's one of the things I've loved about physical labor. Is it hard on your joints? Yes, but it helps continue your mobility.
Yeah.
Until you take it one step too far and, I don't know, get frozen shoulder. So you need to practice wiping with both hands, because frozen shoulder is a good chance of it locking up when you get older again. He's not happy with that.
No. So the thing with it's too late. You can always improve your fucking...
Absolutely.
Unless you're paralyzed or you got some congenital fucking disorder or something like that.
Yeah.
You can always improve your situation. Now, it is true that the younger you are when you get started on health improvement, the more effect it's going to have.
Yeah.
Although, arguably the greatest lever on that is your parents.
Yeah.
When they conceive you, that's the fucking arguably the biggest lever that there is on it.
Yeah.
But then from the time you're born until you're about 5 is a huge lever. Like how much nutrition you get has a fucking huge effect. Well, and then like after that, like exercise and diet and stuff has a really big lever.
Well, a lot of people don't look at the under 5 age as an impressionable age, and it actually is, because you can learn very bad habits. Yeah. Kids under 5, if they are seeing lazy parents doing nothing, they're going to tend to follow in that footsteps. And so for me, I battle back and forth with that. My mother is not a lazy person. Hi, Mommy.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, Mommy. Mommy's not a lazy person. Mom is very, very active. Mm-hmm. But but my father was very
sedentary.
Thank you. That word I can never say.
When he wasn't actually working, he was like, I'm just going to sit here.
Even when he was working, once he moved out of general production and moved into a management position, it literally was just him sitting at his desk or sitting on a forklift quite a lot, bossing people around. And, you know, there's genetically on his side, it is a predisposition for the, you know, when they say like, oh, you're born with the obese gene or you're not, it really is, you are born with it.
Yeah.
And it is a true like scientific thing. And so he unfortunately was born with it. And even having gastric bypass surgery, he hasn't been able to stay ever. He hasn't ever been under, I don't think he's been under 250 pounds in at least 60 years since he was a teenager. Oh, wow. Like a young teenager. Yeah. He's just always been a big guy. I've got a picture somewhere of his senior picture, and he's a solid at 5'5". He's a solid 250, 275. He's solid.
Wow.
He's solid. But he also played football, so it was a lot of muscle then. But when you're done with those athletics, you know, it'll convert wrong. But anyways, but no more sad stuff. All the way back to happy. So Chuck Norris had a great family. He loved his family. He was married twice. He had 5 children. One out of wedlock, one from an extramarital affair that he acknowledged, and he finally met her in 1990. And so he had 2 boys.
For a second there, I was like, wait, he finally went and met the mother? And
Oh, no, sorry, that sounded wrong. So
that was just my brain. Yeah.
No. So he had 2 boys, Mike and Aaron. Was it Mike and Aaron to do? See, I'm jumping ahead of myself because I actually remembered something.
He named one of his sons after his dead brother.
His dead brother's name was Wieland.
Oh, okay.
Or Wyland. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But anyways, he had 2 boys. He had 2 boys from his first marriage, and then he had fraternal twins, a boy and a girl, from his second marriage. And during his first marriage, when he was out filming in California, he actually had an extramarital affair, and he had a girlfriend on the side, and he did get her pregnant. And he didn't know for a while. But anyways, he acknowledged her. They were all a family. And so he's got over 13 grandkids now. He's got 13 plus grandkids now. And it's so fucking crazy because you don't think about the age of things. But when I was reading up about his kids to see like one of them was an actor who's basically retired.
Okay.
Because he's in his 60s.
Yeah.
And then the other one is a retired stock car racer. He's in his 60s. And I'm just like, wait, when did this shit happen? And then you go, oh, yeah, Chuck Norris died at 86 years old.
Did his racer son go the distance?
I think went the distance.
Did he go for speed?
I think so.
Was his wife all alone?
For a while, yeah.
In her time of need?
I think so, because they didn't have kids for a while. You didn't think I was going to go in the distance. You didn't think I was going to know that, jackass. Punk, you just got punked. Anyway, nope. So what the family has released as of the recording date of this is he did have a medical emergency on Thursday. He was surrounded by his family and he passed away.
Yeah.
So my imagination, you know, I've heard some murmurings online that he'd found out he had cancer and this, that, and the other. You know, first of all, I don't fucking care. I think he was a great humanitarian with what he did. Was it wrong that he cheated on his wife when he was in his 20s? 100% abso-fucking-lutely, right? Yeah. But there is so much more to Chuck Norris than that 3-month affair while he was filming. You know, he took care of his kids. He was honest with his wife about it. He took care of his kids. I don't know what he's supposed to do. I was waiting.
Supposed to, motherfucker.
That's what he was supposed to do. But he made sure all of his kids had the opportunity for education and advancements. Nice. So, you know,
why couldn't he be my dad? Anyway.
I was going to say, because he's not black enough, but I mean, it is Chuck fucking Norris. He's everything.
Yeah. Chuck Norris decided to have a fucking quadroon baby because he could.
That's right.
With a white woman.
Anyways, so he was known for a lot of things. And, oh, man, was he known for a lot of different things. So there was a movie he was in. The very first movie he was in was in 1968. And he was an uncredited extra. So he was there. He was there. They just didn't have his name. They basically just, like they do all the extras that they don't credit. They're like, here's your cash, get the fuck out. Right? Yeah. And it was called The Wrecking Crew, which I did not read up on because as soon as I saw the name, I just immediately started thinking of the Dick Jokes with Jason Momoa.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did you ever watch that on Amazon
Yeah, I watched
Prime?
it, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I immediately thought of that first scene and was just like, I don't even want it. Just in case it is, I don't want to.
Hello, Marina Baccarat.
I don't care. I didn't need to see 17 minutes of Dick Joke. Anyways, so in 1968, he was an uncredited extra in the movie The Wrecking Crew. Then his first movie that he was actually in, he wasn't a lead, but he was a supporting role, where the world really starts to see Chuck Norris, is in 1972's Way of the Dragon with Bruce Lee.
Okay, yeah.
Which coincidentally...
I thought that was actually the first movie that he was in, but okay.
A lot of people do. When you look at his like IMDb credits, it actually is the first movie he's credited with being in.
Okay.
But just being an extra, you know, obviously they know that because when you're in part of SAG and all of that, or just in general, you get a pay stub for that one day extra pay, extra pay as an extra. You know, you get those stubs and everything. Yeah. So, but it is Way of the Dragon is considered his first role as far as speaking and acting and not just walking by in the back of the scene, looking at the camera and walking away.
Yeah.
So anyways, but coincidentally, Way of the Dragon is also the highest grossing movie he's ever been in.
Oh, wow.
Grossing $130 million worldwide. Adjust that for inflation, it's like $600 million now.
I wonder how much money it made in China.
I think it made most of its money in Hong Kong. I don't know. In China.
Yeah. Well, at that point, Hong Kong was separate. But yeah.
And then his first actual lead role, where he was the star of the movie, was the 1977 film. Don't ask me exactly what it's about, but I imagine it's about semis because it's called Breaker Breaker. Breaker Breaker. That's the name of it.
That one? I watched a bunch of trucker movies way back in the day because I was
a great big
being raised by a trucker.
The night. Hey, like Smoking the Bandit came out when we were like babes.
Yeah.
When we were like babes, and everybody loved Jerry. What was his name? Jerry Lewis. Is that what his name was? Where he was just like, oh, Breaker 19, Breaker 19. We can smoke it. We got the bandit on our tail. Everybody loved him. You know, because he also sang some of the songs.
Oh,
yeah, I don't think he sang Convoy, but who didn't love that song? Because, you know, everybody sang it. I mean, I hate to say everybody at daycare sang it, but, you know, what our parents watch influence us.
Yeah.
And so I know that, like, for me, like I remember...
The Howling and fucking...
American Werewolf
Poseidon
in London.
And Poseidon Adventure and Inferno and...
Turk 182.
That's from the 80s.
Shush. I was just calling out names.
The late 80s even.
The Lawrence Welk Show?
No. What was the other one that scarred? Oh, Friday the 13th? Was that it?
Halloween was in the 70s. Jason's was in the 80s.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Friday the 13th started in the 80s somewhere, mid to late 80s. Yeah. But the Halloween franchise started in the 1970s. Jamie Lee Curtis screaming her full head off, running down the street, and then bell bottoms. That woman might have a few more wrinkles, but she looked the same.
She's still hot, yeah.
She is. Have you seen the newest one with Jenna Ortega as her granddaughter?
No, I've not seen the...
I'll tell you what, I want her house. You need to watch it. It's fucking fantastic. It's better than Halloween H2O with LL Cool J.
I've not seen that one.
Right? Well, it's pretty good. So here's some other fun Chuck Norris facts. His top starring roles were Missing in Action, Delta Force, and Code of Silence. Of those, I think I've seen a few minutes of Missing in Action.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I watched Missing in Action. I've seen parts of several different Delta Force movies. The ones I remember the most are like the one that the TV show Walker, Texas Ranger is based off of. And then there was one where he was fighting kind of like Jason, a dude that's something along the lines of Jason.
I didn't look at every title name, but I do have the stats.
Okay.
So Chuck Norris in his career starred in 34 movies.
Okay.
So
that's a lot, but less than what I was thinking. It
is so few movies for somebody as notorious as Chuck fucking Norris.
Yeah.
Most of these guys that we know, like the Al Pacinos and the Robert Redfords and who's the other one that everybody mistakes for Robert Redford or not Robert Redford, Al Pacino all the time. The other one. Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah. All these guys, we're talking hundreds of extras and movies and TV shows.
Well, he was already famous before he became a movie star. So that is kind of...
Chuck Norris?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Because he was the kickboxing champion or whatever.
That is correct. He was a martial arts champion.
Yeah. And so that kind of got him boosted to the front of the line.
Yeah.
And then we found out he can actually act. So,
yeah. Well, I'm not sure if that's what I would call it for the most part. Not in these movies.
I mean, compared to most other actors that are in his same boat, he's definitely not at the bottom of the barrel.
I mean, he's definitely no Steven Seagal. Big ups, Chuck.
I would even argue he's no fucking...
Jean-Claude Van Damme. I knew it was coming.
No, I wasn't going to say him. I actually love that dude. No,
me too. Lionheart.
Tom Cruise.
Oh my God. Anyways, we're going to bypass right on there.
I would argue that he's at least as good as Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Well, I have some interesting stats here. So he did 34 movies. He did only like 13. He only appeared in 13 shows. And in those 13 shows, he was also part of Walker, Texas Ranger was the biggest part of that.
Yeah.
From 1993 to 2001, he did 196 episodes of Walker, Texas Ranger. His first TV appearance was in 1970 in a TV show called Room 222. Which was about an African-American history teacher. And they just talked about history. And it was like, it was a drama comedy. It was a drom-com to where like, and it was, the premise was about talking about this history to make sure it doesn't repeat itself. And you have to think about the 1970s, how important that would have been when they were talking about slavery and Hitler and civil rights.
Yeah, because they had just gone through the civil rights movement.
Yeah, I mean, we're only 6 years past when 5 years and 6 years respectively passed when King was killed and Kennedy was killed.
Yeah.
They were both assassinated by idiots.
Like the last people to actually do something for minorities all got killed.
Jesse Jackson is rolling over in his urn because he fought very hard for continuing civil rights liberties and fairness for all. So be nice. Anyways, he did 13 different commercials, which I thought here's the really bizarre thing. As I'm counting this stuff, I'm like, why is the number 3 so much there in his stuff? He was born in March, the 3rd month of the year. He did 13 different TV shows and movies. TV shows, like made for TV movies, even a Walker, Texas Rangers Christmas special, right? So there's another 3 there. Then he did 13 commercials. There's another 3 there.
What was that total, Jim?
And he was hawking like omega-3 supplements. I mean, like 3 again. So anyways, but here's the cool thing. He also got credited, for one song. And it's from the 1996 Walker, Texas Ranger soundtrack, A Ranger Christmas. Can you guess the title of the song? Just because it's great.
I'm Chuck fucking Norris.
No, but it should have been Eyes of the Ranger.
Okay.
I got the eyes of the Ranger. I don't know. I didn't go listen to it.
It's not Eye of the Tiger.
It's not Eye of the Tiger. It's Eyes of the Ranger. And I just was just like, my brain went, what? And I thought it was great because that's the one thing that, like, all these little blurbs about Chuck Norris I heard is that he really had a good sense of humor. He had a very good balance to his life between his family, his friends, his everything he did with purpose. That was his whole thing. His whole life he did things with purpose. When he was a young kid, and because they were so poor and he was so downtrodden because of the abuse in the family from his dad being an alcoholic and everything. He was terrifyingly shy. He didn't make any friends in high school, really, not in any school. He didn't really have any friends. He didn't start becoming what he would feel was a better man until he joined the military and shipped out.
Wow. Okay.
So he was very much led a very, secluded life until he joined the military. And then when he was in the military and he went overseas, of course, he didn't really have, you've got your brothers in arms, right? But somebody who was so shy and so, introverted. Yeah. So he didn't start becoming known for the personality he was until he was stationed in South Korea and he started training. I know I don't even want to try to say the name wrong because he started training in Tang Soo Do. And once he started training in those martial arts and he started having confidence in himself, then he started to make friends. Hey, there's Chuck. And that's when he got his nickname and all that stuff. So there's something really great on this entertainment side of it, though. So hold on.
Okay.
So he had 4 video games out there.
I did not know that.
One was Chuck Norris Super Kicks, 1984. It was licensed for his name and look for the covers and his likeness for his names. And then when they lost the license for it and it did not get renewed, which, video games, once it drops out of popularity, they're not going to pay it. It got changed to Kung Fu Super Kicks. Some of it was named, some of the renaming was Kung Fu Super Kicks. And then other cartridges were named Super Kung Fu.
Okay.
Right? Second video game, Chuck Norris, Bring On the Pain, 2008. 44 years later, his second video comes out, right? And, here's a fun fact before I forget, geez Louise, about the very first game that used his likeness and everything. It was, oh my God, this is so old. This ages us. It was designed strictly for the Commodore 64, the VIC-20, the Atari 2600, and the ColecoVision.
I remember the Atari 2600 because it kept remembering seeing commercials for it. It's the 2600 from Atari.
Yeah. And it was the ColecoVision one was the only one where it actually had 2 cartridges depending on which side you wanted to. I read that the ColecoVision had 2 cartridges depending on whether you wanted to be Chuck Norris or beat Chuck Norris. So anyways, but the second one, Chuck Norris Bring On the Pain 2008, was a mobile game done by a company called Gameloft.
Okay.
I never even heard of it. Never even knew. Then what's really great, I know this game. I've played this game a little bit. Excuse me, a little tiny bit. But it was a special that was on World of Tanks Holiday Ops. So it was a special mission in 2020, and it was available on PC gaming, PlayStation, Xbox, and it was done by a company called Wargaming, which is really cool.
I mean, they're still around, so.
Right? And then the last video game, Crime Boss, Roque City 2023. That was designed for the Windows, the PS5, Xbox Series SX, and on Steam. And the greatest thing about this is that it was like there was a lot of celebrities playing a form of themselves in this video game. And it was, not only was it the last video game that Chuck Norris appeared in, right? Okay. It was also the last video game that Michael Madsen appeared in, who, which is really super crazy. So this guy is just so, his life is so, it's interesting because it started out as such a tragedy, a broken home, not having much. And then when he was younger, having a brother who died so young, who knew he was going to die young, and all these things. So so we kind of look at a big picture, right? Now let's look at a little smaller picture because this is where it gets good. Chuck Norris started training in 1958 in the Air Force when he was stationed in South Korea. He started training in Tang Soo Do. He loved it and became so proficient at it that he went on and he achieved black belts, not just in Tang Soo Do. He achieved black belts in karate, taekwondo, judo, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And he created his own discipline of martial arts. Okay. And it's called
Chuck fucking Norris. You win just by saying it.
Right? Right. I'm having to keep a straight face to say this. Chuck Do.
Chuck Do.
CHUKKUKDO. Chuck Do. He did his own system.
That makes me think of Jeet Kune Do.
I think so. I think it was because he also, did some training with Bruce Lee, obviously. So I think maybe he did get some inspiration from that. It's really fascinating. But here is one of the greatest things that came from Chuck Norris. There's two super great things. This, I read through this as I wrote this down, because we don't have the printer's not working. Sorry. So the Chuck Norris,
Chuck Norris.
That's literally what it's called. The Chuck Norris system. And this is Chuck's personal code. This is his life code of conduct for himself. This is what he came up with when he was in the military and he was doing this training. This is how he evolved from the shy little introvert that nobody would talk to and nobody'd share lunch with and be friends with or give him the time of day, to the strong influencer that we all look up to and we're just like, man, I'd love to be Chuck fucking Norris.
Yeah.
So it's 10 commandments he set for himself.
Okay.
And in order to be part of Chuck Do, in order to train with him, you also needed to follow his principles and rules.
Fair.
And I love it because what's interesting is I'm not, when I was a kid, I wasn't a girly girl. I'm still not a girly girl, but I'm also like, am I going to watch Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee? I'm going to watch Bruce Lee because I thought he was so handsome. Chuck Norris was a little, I didn't like anybody with beards because my stepdad had a beard and my dad had a beard and it was just like, ugh.
But he's a ranger.
Chuck Norris is not a ranger. Shush.
Yes, he is.
Look, he wasn't my cup of tea when I was a kid. But what I find fascinating is every single thing on his list for his personal code of conduct, and don't be smirchified, because Chuck was a fucking blonde. Stop.
Anyways,
so much of it makes sense, and so much of it I actually do in my own personal life. And I was thinking about it as I'm reading it, and I'm going, I've been doing that like my whole fucking life.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of people that do. Yeah,
it's kind of crazy, and it's just like, am I like-minded like Chuck Norris? So then I got like really excited. I'm like, I'm honoring, and this is crazy, but because I do respect him as an actor, an entertainer, a philanthropist, and a humanist, I'm just like, oh, I have something in common with Chuck Norris. That makes me feel good because he was so well loved by so many people. Rule number 1, I will develop myself to the maximum of my potential in all ways. And I think that is great because everybody should look at, what do I think I'm capable of? And what am I really capable of? And I love that because it's a constant challenge to yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Number 2, I will forget the mistakes of the past and press on to greater achievements.
Okay.
Everybody should be able to go, I've made a mistake. I'm going to move on. And I'm going to do something better with myself.
Yeah.
So I think that's just freaking fantastic. Number 3, I will continually work at developing love, happiness, and loyalty in my family. And I think that's so important because he created this rule system after his extramarital affair.
Yeah.
After his secret baby was born.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he took the time to self-reflect and go, hold on, this is more important. Because him and his first wife were married for like 30 years. They were married for a very long time. Okay. And, so him having the ability to step back and go, or 20-something years, go, whoa, I made a mistake and I can't do that again. I have to do better. Mm-hmm. I think that's fucking great. Okay. 4, I will look for the good in all people and make them feel worthwhile. That one actually struck home for me. And it actually, when I read it, kind of made me teary because I'm like, this ideology I have of treating humans better. I'm wondering if somehow, some way that influenced me because I think everybody is worthy that doesn't abuse animals, children, and other humans, I mean, even you. Ugh.
I'm not exactly Chuck fucking Norris, but I'm not far off.
Because I'm the golden child. I'm the golden child. If I have to hear you say I'm the golden child, I've heard that 5 times in the last 3-4 days. Of course, because I'm the golden child.
Have you met me?
Yeah.
God, this Dagda dude is so full of himself. What a dick.
Oh, my God. I'm telling you. There is some woman going, I was thinking about asking him out for coffee, but fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
He's got a 0 in his phone number. Fuck this guy.
But it did for me. It did touch my heart in a special place in the right way and not the wrong way. Stop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I said, yeah.
Thank you for controlling yourself. I appreciate that so much. But it was just like, because that is one of the things I love about doing what I do is because I have that ability. We've talked about this before. I have that ability to connect people on that level because we're all important. Even people who fuck up.
I have the ability to connect with people with this level, that level, this level. Pow, pow. If she was a man, I'd punch her right in the face. Anyway.
I don't give a fuck who they are. I'll punch you right in the fucking cooter if you're an idiot. Anyways.
That includes you, gentlemen.
That's right. I'll hit you so hard in your cooter, your taint will go, ew.
Your man cooter. What the
fuck? Anyways, okay, so 5. If I have nothing good to say about a person, I will say nothing. Now, in that regards, I hold my tongue quite a bit. Mm-hmm. You have bore witness to that.
Yeah.
More than anybody else in my life. But let me tell you what.
Let me tell you something.
I will sit there and I will say, I pray to Jesus that I don't lose control of my mouth because Lord knows I wanted to.
Lord, give me patience because if you give me strength, I'm going to need bail money.
That is correct. I said that to somebody the other day. Somebody was acting the fool and I'm just like, well, let's try for a better day another day, right? And they were just like looking at me. I'm like, listen. They're like, are you okay? Are you okay having to deal with this? I'm like, I am totally fine. Because let me tell you something. I'm praying to Jesus right now because I don't have bail money saved yet. Facts. They're like, oh, I heard that. So no, and that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand. I will say nothing also means I'm not going to respond to that behavior.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at you like you're the stupidest thing. Are you a little turd that just dropped out of that dude's pants? You got cooties, go away. Anyways, 6. I think this might be my favorite one. I don't know. It's pretty close. I will always be as enthusiastic about the success of others as I am about my own.
That can be a hard one sometimes. And I'm not somebody who's like jealous of other people, but sometimes it's like, really, you fucking
Why am I championing you? You got that job and not me, really? Why would I champion for you? But that's the thing. See, the thing is it's really crazy. Is I think it's one of my favorites because everybody who's close to me in my life, even if they don't realize it, I'm fucking rooting for them. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there going, okay, I know I really want this, but this person needs this just as much. Yeah. You know, I
remember one time one of my friends had failed at something and he was fucking upset about it. And he's like, what do you think? I'm like, I don't care. And he got upset because he was thinking that I didn't care about him. But the reality was, what I was saying is, win or lose, I'm still your friend. Yeah. I don't care. So
I had to explain to somebody the other day what I mean when I say I don't care. Mm-hmm. And next to us, because we get it. Sometimes it hurts and I don't want to hear I don't care. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I've learned over all of this eons of time with you, it's been like forever. But what I've learned is I understand your words when you say I don't care. Because for you, it's like, I don't care if you farted. I might not like you right now. I don't care if you farted, but we're still friends. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I get it. But what I've learned with you, and I think other people could take a cue from you, is understanding to look at the facial expressions. Mm-hmm. Because I can look at you and I can tell when you're like, I don't care about that situation versus I don't care about you right now because I'm mad. Mm. You know, like I can see the difference in your face. Yeah. And that's the thing. I had to explain to somebody the other day. Somebody was going on and on and on about something. I said, listen, with all due respect, I don't care. A decision needs to be made. And then that's just what we need to do. I don't care. And I literally meant, I don't care who makes the decision. Make a smart choice. Let's all do the same. Let's all do this smart choice based on the leader of the group and just get it fucking done.
Yeah, and I don't care if it's A or B, but one of those has to happen because both of them can't.
Yeah.
One of those kind of situations.
So one person who doesn't know me very well, one person went, that's right, sister. And I'm like, what? Another person was just like, how dare you not care? Mm. And then the other person's like, I totally agree. I don't care how we get it done as long as we know what we're doing and we all do it consistently. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I don't care is not something that my partner likes to hear. And I tell him all the time, you need to understand when I say I don't care, it's not going to change how I feel about you. It's not going to change how I looked at you. All that matters to me is that, like, I don't care if you only eat organic food. I don't care if you do this, that, or the other. Mm-hmm. Whatever makes you happy. I simply don't care as long as it's consensual between us and our relationship boundaries. Mm-hmm. And you're not doing something to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
It's funny because he's like, well, you're not saying much. I don't have much to say.
Yeah.
What if you look at a broader picture of life, like Chuck Norris did? What am I going to say? Okay, I'm mad today that you didn't buy me cheese puffs. Okay, because the bigger spectrum of life is there's somebody who's not getting a meal at all today.
Yeah,
and I definitely can do without a few. So I mean, just learning how to be able to have that clear definition of I don't care because none of that matters to how I feel as a person. Mm-hmm. Did you get that all straightened out with him?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did you have to slap him? Did you have to slap him?
That was a long time ago. I don't remember.
Probably. Knowing you, probably. You're still raging when you were younger. Okay, 7. I will maintain an attitude of open-mindedness. That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. I love that. Number 8. I will maintain respect for those in authority and demonstrate this respect at all times.
Okay.
I understand it and I accept it. I struggle with it a little bit because I look at what...
Just because they're an authority figure doesn't mean that they're wise or fucking beneficent, looking out for your best interests.
Yeah, I mean, they can be maleficent.
Yeah.
Not benevolent. Yeah. And that's the thing is that, like, I can respect a lot of things, and I will respect authority. But what I will not do is let authority do illegal things to me.
Yeah.
I will never go quietly into the night. I will never lay gently down on a fight that's worth dying for. I will pick my battles, I will pick my hills, and I will die on those hills.
Well, also, sometimes you need to pick when you're going to do your battle.
Exactly.
And a traffic stop is not one of those times.
Exactly. Not worth it. Because guess what? You can go to court over it. Either way, you're probably getting the ticket, but it's not worth it.
The court is where you fight the battle, not in the middle of the fucking street with the cop.
Amen.
Dumbasses.
Exactly. Number 9, I will always remain loyal to my God, my country, my family, and my friends. And that was exactly the order he lived his life on, where his loyalties lied. So you can tell the military did some real good for him.
Yeah.
Because it is for country and God, or for God and country, depending on which branch you're in, I think.
Yeah, he wasn't even a Marine.
Nope, he was Air Force.
Yeah, the Marines are... And he was Air Force when it was first split. Like, first separated from the Army.
Yeah. And then number 10.
He was the Space Force of his generation.
He really was. Thank God he wasn't the space cadet of his generation. For fuck's sake. Okay, and number 10. I will remain highly goal-oriented throughout my life because that positive attitude helps my family, my country, and myself. And that's the other one I really love because it's not always easy to be positive, but to have goals in mind, no matter how long they take to achieve, like, we should have started podcasting 10 years ago. So we're kind of on we're kind of like those mules that were standing around eating the hay going, go on, Betsy, why don't you go get that one? Nah, why don't you get him, Harold? We're gonna, we're having fun. But
yeah, I was actually kind of interested when you first started reading this list because I was thinking of Musashi, because Miyamoto Musashi wrote the Book of Five Rings. Okay, and it was like rules for, well, really anybody, but it was specifically for martial artists. And then he also wrote another book. I think he wrote this other book before, and it was kind of like a set of commandments for martial artists. Mm-hmm. Well, it was like a primer for studying under him in swordsmanship or whatever he was teaching. And it's very much like that, although it's more... Chuck's rules are more in line with just good human.
That is correct. That's like I said, he's a humanist.
And not necessarily a good warrior. I mean, they're also good rules for a warrior, but they're more human than like Musashi's stuff.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing is that so Chuck's his life code came from his experience in childhood, in the military, and in training with the disciplines of martial arts. And he had to sit there and because, when you're doing many disciplines of many different martial arts, you're going to get different influences. So he did have to make the decision, what does this mean to me? Yeah. And I think he did very well. And I thought it was really neat when I read that in order to, like, if you didn't follow those guidelines and principles, you were out of his school, period. That's it. Because we don't have time for asshole humans. We have time for good humans. And even then, Chuck Norris gave his time to a lot of people. Super, super crazy. So let me see if there was one more thing I have one more thing before I go into the fun stuff that I think Mr. Norris would have got a real fucking kick out of. Okay. So, what was it? Oh my God. Did I put it in the wrong page? Hold on. I'm almost there. You know what? We can just go straight to it. So, what is Chuck Norris known for?
Karate. And, or kickboxing, I suppose. Okay. And then his fucking workout machines. Okay. The Total Gym. Okay. Although most people just know him as an action star. So, and then Texas Ranger. Right. Those are probably the 4 things that he's most well known for. Right now, what Chuck Norris is actually most well known for in the last 20 years is for the hyperbolic Chuck Norris memes about him. Oh, yeah. Which
Let me tell you what. I did not write down all of the top 500 of them, but I wrote.
I know there's at least 2 books of Chuck Norris jokes, basically.
It's great. It's great. So, Chuck Norris's one of Chuck Norris's personal favorites was. They wanted to put Chuck Norris on Mount Rushmore, but the granite wasn't tough enough for his beard.
Nice.
He also had a great affinity for, he did a visit to Iraq and Afghanistan in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And he saw signs that said, Chuck Norris was here, we can go home.
That's awesome.
That is really awesome. There are some really fucking good ones here. So, the very first Chuck Norris hyperbolic meme was, Chuck Norris was once bitten by a king cobra. After 10 excruciating minutes, the king cobra died.
Yep.
Very first known Chuck Norris hyperbolic meme.
Yeah, okay.
When Chuck Norris does push-ups, he doesn't push himself up. He pushes the earth down. Yep. I actually remember hearing that in school. I remember the boys saying, yeah, well, Chuck Norris, he's so tough, he pushes the earth down, yeah. Take that, Arnold, because we had that presidential thing where Arnold came out, presidential fitness time, y'all, you need to do this, y'all. And all the kids were like, nee, boo, Chuck Norris is stronger than you because he can push the earth down. So anyways. Chuck Norris has a polar bear rug at home. It's not dead. It's just afraid to move.
Chuck Norris and Superman got in a fight. The loser had to wear his underwear on the outside.
Chuck Norris loved these. And that's why I thought this would be the best way to go into the end of this episode is do some of these, because he loved them. He encouraged them because they made people happy. Yeah. And that's what Chuck Norris ultimately wanted to do. Chuck Norris once threw a hand grenade and killed 50 people. Then the hand grenade exploded.
Yep.
When Chuck Norris goes swimming, he doesn't get wet. The water gets Chuck Norrised.
Yep. I don't go swimming. Water just wants to be around me.
That's right. There once was a street named Chuck Norris, but the name was changed as nobody crosses Chuck Norris and lives. Yeah. I remember that too. I was like, oh, I think I heard that one in 6th grade. That's so great.
They tried to make Chuck Norris toilet paper, but it didn't work. Chuck Norris doesn't take shit off of anybody.
Oh, yeah? Well, Chuck Norris doesn't flush the toilets. He scares the shit out of them. This reminds me of you. Chuck Norris doesn't read books. He stares them down until he gets the information he wants.
Monsters check under the bed for Chuck Norris.
That's right. They check the closet and under the bed.
Yeah.
That's the way I heard it when I was like 14. Chuck Norris won an arm wrestling tournament with both hands tied behind his back. That's so great. Beneath Chuck Norris's beard is another fist.
Yep.
And of course, when the boogeyman goes to bed at night, he checks his closet for Chuck Norris.
Nice.
The Swiss Army uses a Chuck Norris knife. The Chuck Norris knife.
Nice. I remember working at my uncle's shop. One day I came in and there was a Chuck Norris action figure. And I was like, holy shit. And then I found out that there was a Chuck Norris cartoon in the 80s and a comic that was attached to the comic or the cartoon. And then they made action figures.
I believe the Chuck Norris cartoon has like one of those little lead-ins, or had one of those little leaders, like Chuck Norris says, "Stay in school and do your job," or some shit like that. He was like that, literally the more you know kind of guy. All right, ghosts tell Chuck Norris stories around the campfire.
Yep.
The flu gets a Chuck Norris shot every year. Chuck Norris's social security number is the last 9 digits of pi.
Wow.
You know somebody's going to try to figure that one out.
I mean,
God bless you.
They've been trying to figure it out for decades.
For eons.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as evolution. Only a list of species Chuck Norris has allowed to live.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing about that. So there's a funny thing to this. Even though Chuck Norris found it hilarious, he laughed when he was told this one. He laughed and said, "That's cool, but I'm a creationist."
Yeah, because he's a very.
He was a very devout evangelical Christian.
Christian, yeah.
Yeah, so that one was great. Dinosaurs looked at Chuck Norris the wrong way. Well, you know what happened then, or what happened to them, or how it turned out. In the beginning, there was nothing. Then Chuck Norris roundhouse kicked nothing and told it to get a job. I love that. I think that's so great. Chuck Norris can believe it's not butter. Chuck Norris makes onions cry.
Yep.
Chuck Norris, he beat the sun in a staring contest.
And that's why we have eclipses.
Oh, yeah? Well, Chuck Norris can divide by 0. Chuck Norris's diary, it's called the Guinness Book of World Records.
Dear diary.
That's right. Chuck Norris can see John Cena.
Yeah.
The sun wears Chuck Norris glasses. Okay. And this one actually made me cry, but it's really good. And so for all the good you did in life, thank you, Mr. Norris. When Chuck Norris walks into a room, he does not turn on a light. Chuck turns off the dark. Have a great day, you guys.
Later.
Bye. Okay, everybody. That's all the time we have for today. So I want to thank you for stopping by to enjoy the conversation. We're glad you're here, and please share and share again and share some more. And if you haven't already, subscribe. We'll be having another chat and another cup soon. We'll talk to you then. Look forward to seeing you.